You talked about several things you'd like to change. One of them was light rail or trains
Yep.
system, but and the other thing was the cost of energy,
Yep.
utilities. And I'm led to believe the reason that we have so high a cost for electricity in Connecticut is because of our distribution and the amount of energy or electricity we have to buy from other states.
Correct.
So how do you correct something like that if you are governor for one term? Or are you looking at this long term and solve it?
Well, let me answer that question, and my staff will remind me I have to be very direct. So first of all, I do this job, I want to do it for 8 years.
Okay.
But I believe you set your goals on day one, and then you work towards those goals every single day you're governor. That's what I did for the last 14 years as mayor. One of the interesting experiences I'm having is things that I started which I didn't necessarily think I would be mayor long enough to see happen because I didn't bank on being mayor for 14 years. I'm now seeing. I'm actually, cutting the ribbon or laying the plaque or whatever. You have to be thinking about the future all the time. And that's one of the things that's broken about Connecticut. We only think about what's going to be in the current tomorrow. We only think about what's the next legislative session going to look like. We've got to lay a plan for people so that they can bank on a future. So that's number one. Number two, about energy, we do have a very congested delivery system, overwhelmed system. But you know what happened? We deregulated energy and then we went to sleep. And we did not require our delivery utilities, and there are 2 in this state, to invest in those systems, to modernize them, to keep them even current. So we fell asleep at the wheel again, and our state has done that time and time and time again. And then we did not encourage additional generation within our own state. And there are ways to generate electricity. First of all, if I had all this stimulus money coming at me from Washington, I'd be buying fuel cells. And I'd get people off the grid in the most congested parts of our state. And I would I'd buy them, I'd get in line to have them delivered, I'd buy them and I'd distribute them to local governments and not-for-profits and business entities in the most congested part of the state.
You got a place to put them.
You know what? I hear you. I'm looking at taking my own government centers, a 10-story office building, off the grid completely, and the 2 housing authority buildings right behind our building, we want to put them on fuel cell technology. But there are ways to generate electricity. Solar. I have $2 million worth of solar installations ongoing in Stamford this summer. That's and by the way, we have better sun than most of Europe, and Europe uses more solar than we do. It just doesn't make sense. And if we ever get off our keisters and actually get involved in a big way in thermal solar, then we're going to start hitting home runs in this country. We have the groundwater and easily access groundwater for thermal systems, and I'm not talking about solar systems. Just take it out. Geothermal. Thank you. We have that. I mean, we're a great state for that. So, but not so much. No, not so much on wind because of the lack of consistency. Good at certain seasons, not at others. And by the way, I'm not one of these guys who says not in my backyard. We put in a peaking plant. I championed a peaking plant in Stamford. Now most mayors ran away, and I said, listen, if we're going to use all this electricity, if we're going to be one of the towns that's causing the congestion, we have an obligation to help solve the problem. So I expressed some leadership to get that done, and that's what we need a governor. But a lot of it is we deregulated and we fell asleep. And we've got to stop doing things like that. And we didn't have a 30-year vision. How many more computers are people going to have? How many more air conditioners? You got to start thinking. Got to make. You got to look forward and see what's coming down the road.